Hello everyone, I am Durga Sojanya, Assistant Professor from Department of ECE, MLR Institute of Technology. I am going to give the video lectures for the subject Embedded System Design. Our today's topic is ARM processor. So this comes under Unit 5, which is Introduction to Advanced Architectures. In this, the first topic, which is ARM and SHARC processor. So in the previous session, we have completed our fourth unit. In the fourth unit, we have discussed about what are the real-time operating system. So what is the operating system? What is the task, process? So how can we achieve task synchronization? So what are the different types of functions done by the real-time operating system for enabling the task synchronization? So like semaphores, pipes, mutex, and so what is meant by deadlock, and how can we achieve task synchronization using these methods, and task scheduling. What are the different algorithms available in task scheduling? So these are all discussed in the fourth unit. So now going to the fifth unit, so which is about the advanced microprocessor architectures. So here in our fifth unit, while going to the advanced microprocessor architectures, we are going to discuss about the ARM processor. So here in this session, we are going to discuss about what are the features of ARM processor, what is meant by CPSR register, what are the data operations in ARM processor, what are different types of modes available in ARM, what is the ARM instruction set and SHARC features, and what are the differences between ARM and SHARC. Here the first one is ARM processor. Here the ARM processors are worked based on the RISC architecture. So RISC architecture is nothing but reduced instruction set architecture. So here reduced instruction set architecture. So there are two types of architectures are available for embedded processors. One is complex instruction set architecture, another one is reduced instruction set architecture. So in previous versions or in older versions, we have the complex instruction set architecture. Just like example is 8051. So now while going to the advanced processor, which is ARM, we can go for reduced instruction set architecture. So that means the number of instructions are reduced. So in this architecture, so therefore the execution will be speed, or the execution speed will be more compared with the previous versions of processors. Here it uses the reduced instruction set architecture, and the instructions are having the uniform and fixed in length. So in 8051, we have already discussed that we are having the variable length instruction sets. So here for each instruction, the length of the instruction and the time required for instruction will not be fixed. So the length of the instruction is not fixed depending on the data, whether we have used the 16-bit data, 8-bit data. So depending on that, the length of the instruction will be varied. But here while going to the ARM processor, the instruction set is having the uniform and fixed in length. And 32-bit ARM processor have two instruction set, general 32-bit ARM instruction set and 16-bit thumb instruction set. So here this ARM processors, here we have discussed that the ARM processor uses the reduced instruction set architecture. So reduced instruction set means, so how can we reduce the instruction set? Here this ARM processor, we have different types of instruction sets. So here this ARM will be used with two types of instructions. So one is having the 32-bit mode, another one is having the 16-bit mode. So that means here some instructions are specifically designed for 16-bit instructions only. Some are having the 32-bit instructions only. So these 32-bit instructions are called as 32-bit ARM instruction set. So this ARM instruction set is worked on the 32-bit data. So like that, the 16-bit instructions which works on the 16-bit data is known as thumb instruction set. So here one of the important feature of the ARM processors are it uses the load and store architecture. So it uses the load and store architecture. Here depends on by using this load and store architecture, we can directly transfer the data to the memory from the processor registers. Here in 8051, so we have seen that so there is no on-chip memory is available, and in some processors we have the on-chip memory facility is also there. But while transferring any data to the memory, so first from the processor register, so from memory to the processor register, and so we need to store the indirect data in the register and from register to the memory. So like that, from memory to the register and from register to the any specified data which is displayed in the registers. That means here the data cannot be loaded directly into memory in this 8051 microcontroller. But here by using the ARM processor, we can directly having the possibility directly transferring our data to the memory. So here, so the ARM processors follow the load and store type architecture, so which is used for transferring the contents of registers rather than directly on the memory. So here instead of copying directly to the memory, here in ARM processor we have used the registers which are used as the memory locations for storing the data. So ARM supports multiple stages of pipeline to speed up the flow of instructions. Here the pipeline is nothing but simultaneous execution of different number of instructions. So that means here number of instructions are to be executed simultaneously. So in this how can we do that pipeline means here one instruction can be going for fetching, another instruction can be going for reading the data from the memory, another instruction will do the execution. So all these three instructions will perform their process at the same time. So that is called as pipelining. So here this ARM processor supports multiple stages of pipeline to speed up the flow of instructions. In simple three-stage pipeline, here the instruction will follow three stages. One instruction will be going for fetch stage, another instruction will be going for decode stage, and another instruction will go for execution stage. So in this way, we can complete the three instructions within the stipulated time only. So therefore, this pipelining procedure of ARM processor will improve the speed of the execution. So these ARM processors have a speed of execution and a low power consumption ratio, and these ARM processor can be having the wide frequency range which is from 1 MHz to few gigahertz. So these ARM processors have built-in hardware for debugging. So we can have the debugging facility in the hardware part only. So it supports the enhanced instructions for DSP operation. DSP means digital signal processing. So here it is these ARM processors are not only entitled for embedded applications. So these ARM processors can have the compatibility for digital signal processing applications also. So these are the features of ARM processor. And next, here in ARM processors, there are so many number of registers are there which are called as general purpose registers. So which are called as register bank. So register bank as same as another processors. Here it consists of general purpose registers just like register bank. That register bank will have the 32 registers. So these registers are used for storing any data or address. So in general purpose mode, but in ARM processor we have a special purpose register which is called as CPSR, current processor status register. So it is used for indicating the status of the processor. So status of the currently executing instruction. Here this consists of 32 bits. Here it is a 32-bit register. So the 32-bit register, in this 32-bit register, the starting 5 bits which is from 0 to 4. So those are used for indicating the processor mode. So these are called as mode bits which are used for indicating the processor mode, and the 5th bit is used for indicating the thumb state. The 6th bit which is called as number 5 bit. So it is used for indicating the thumb state. So that means whether we have used the thumb instruction, we have used the instruction set from the thumb instruction or ARM instruction set. So that means here the currently executing instruction is 16-bit or 32-bit. So if this T bit in the CPSR is 1, it indicates that we are executing the thumb instruction. So that means we are executing the 16-bit instruction. We are executing instruction on the 16-bit data. So when it is 0, it indicates we are going to executing the ARM instruction, which indicates the data is to be 32-bit. So and next one is, next 6th and 7th bits, these are used for interrupt bits, so which are called as interrupt flags. Interrupt flags is nothing but here, so there are 2 bits are there, J bit, so here we have I and F, or one, this F is also known as J bit. So J bit is nothing but it is used for JLA capable processors. So in advanced processors only we have the J bit. So in previous versions, in the starting versions of ARM, we have the F, which is used for indicating the flag register, and interrupt flags. So 7th bit is interrupt flag, so which is used for indicating the interrupt for the processor. When any interrupt is enabled, so this bit will be high, otherwise it will be 0. So this T bit indicates the thumb capable processor. So when T is 1, it indicates that that processor is having the capability of thumb instruction set. So here from ARM V4 and later only we have the thumb capability. So before ARM V4 we are not having the thumb capability. So that in those cases we are not having the T bit. And next, both J and T bits are exists in ARM V6 processor. So from ARM V6 onwards, so we have both J and T. So from ARM V4 onwards, we have the T bit. From ARM V5 onwards, we have the J bit. So for previous versions, we are not having the possibility for T bit and J bit. So this is about current process status register. And next, from 28 to 31 bits, so these are used for indicating the conditional flags. So conditional flags means depending on the result of the operation executed by that instruction. So whether the result is 0, so this 0 flag will be set. So whether the result is negative, so this negative flag will be set. If the result is having the carry, so that carry flag will be set. If the result is overflowed, so then the overflow flag will be set. So in arithmetic and logical operations, so depending on the flags, only we can get the result of the operation. So based on the result of the operation, these flags will be set in the CPSR register. And next, data operations in ARM. So the ARM supports the data operations in 2 types of modes. One is big endian mode, another one is little endian mode. So here big endian mode is nothing but having the highest address as the starting address and the lowest address as the ending address. So here we are having 2 types of modes. One is little endian mode and big endian mode. So the big endian mode stores the MSB or most significant bit of the word. So here we have already discussed that the ARM processor is a 32-bit processor. So 32-bit processor means the data will be stored in form of words, not in form of bits or bytes. So byte means 8-bit, word means 16-bit. So here it consists of 2 words. So here the word format, so the big endian system means it stores the MSB of the word at the smallest memory and the LSB of the word in the largest memory. So that means in the memory allocation, so here if this is the data presented by the ARM processor, so here in big endian model, so here the MSB represents the word in the smallest memory location. So here, if the memory is started from x 0 0 0 0, so then this is the 0 0 0 0 location, and next location, that is 0 0 0 1 and 0 0 0 2, so 0 0 0 3. So here the MSB bit is to be stored in the lowest memory location and LSB is stored in the largest memory location. So here, instead of bits, here the words will be stored. Here it consists of two words. One is LSB of the word, another one is MSB of the word. Right? So that LSB of the word is stored in the largest location. This MSB of the word is stored in the smallest location. So that is the mode which is big endian mode. So in little endian mode of the ARM processor, the data will be stored like, so the LSB of the word will be stored in the smallest memory location. So here it is the LSB, it is the MSB. So in the same way, here it is LSB, it is MSB. So the LSB of the word is stored in the lowest memory location and MSB of the word is stored in the highest memory location. So here the big endian system stores the MSB of a word at the smallest memory address and the LSB of a word at the largest memory location. So in little endian system, it stores the LSB at smallest address and MSB at largest address. So here, just like this, here yes, byte 0 is stored with LSB of the word. So byte 3 is stored with MSB of the word. Here, so byte 3 is stored with, byte 3 means MSB, which is stored in the, this MSB is stored in the starting memory location, LSB is stored in the ending memory location. So here ARM mode. So there are two types of modes are there for working in the ARM processor. So the ARM processor can be operated in two modes. One is thumb instruction mode, another one is ARM instruction mode. So the thumb instruction mode is nothing but it is having the 16-bit word length. The data is having the 16-bit word. So here, if the ARM processor can be operated in 16-bit data and 32-bit data also. If the data is 16-bit word, so then we have to use the thumb 16-bit instructions. So thumb set is designed for 16-bit word length and which are executed by same 32-bit core. Here that ARM processor, that core of ARM processor is capable for executing 32-bit instructions. But here we can execute with the same core, we can execute the 16-bit word length instructions also. Here the instruction fetch of 2 bytes in thumb mode in place of 4 bytes in ARM mode. Here for ARM mode, here we have two types of modes are there. One is ARM mode, another one is thumb mode. So in ARM mode, we are having the 32-bit instructions. Here we are having the 16-bit instructions. Here the word capability is 32-bit. Here the word capability is 16-bit. And here the 2 bytes are used for instruction fetching. Here 4 bytes are used for instruction fetching. And here the data alignment is, that means the data used for this instruction is 16-bit. So that means 2 bytes. Here the data used is 4 bytes. Here the memory saving will be up to 35%. Here we have the more memory usage because here we are saving the 4 bytes of data in the memory. Therefore, more memory can be utilized in the ARM processor. So in the ARM processor, it is 4 bytes, it is 2 bytes, So now in the thumb instruction, we have utilized only 35% of memory only. But in ARM processor, more memory will be utilized by the processor because here 4 bytes of data will be used in the ARM instruction set. And it enables 32-bit performance at 8-bit or 16-bit system in terms of memory need. If memory is needed, so we can go for 8-bit data transfer instructions, or we can go for 8-bit data and 16-bit data also. So if memory is needed by these instructions also it can be supported. Next, second mode is 32-bit ARM mode. So 32-bit ARM mode means here we have the facility for the ARM processor that, so we have a mode transformation. So which is called as mode switching. So in this, it can be shifted from depending on the instruction or depending on the data we have used in that processor. It can be shifted from thumb mode to ARM mode or from ARM mode to thumb mode. So here no overheads are there in moving from thumb and normal ARM state. Here when moving from ARM to thumb or thumb to ARM, no overheads are to be required. So that means no time is wasted and no memory is wasted. We can simply switching from ARM mode to thumb mode and from thumb mode to ARM mode. So two states are compatible on a normal basis only. So here it gives the designer very complete control over performance and code size optimization, as it is not having any memory wastage and time wastage. So therefore the code designer can easily control the performance and code optimization for this ARM processor. So next, ARM instruction set. So it consists of two instruction sets. One is 16-bit thumb instruction set. Another one is 32-bit ARM instruction set. Here there are different types of instructions are to be possible by the ARM processor. Here different types of instructions available in the ARM instruction set are data transfer instructions. So data transfer instructions are nothing but transferring the data from one place to another place, source to destination. Here from register to memory or register to register or from memory to register. So these are the possible data transfer operations in the ARM processor. Here bit transfer or manipulation instructions. So bit transfer or bit manipulation instructions are nothing but, so in any register, so we can manipulate individual bit of the register. So individual bit manipulations can be possible in the bit transfer or manipulation instructions. Here arithmetical instructions. Arithmetical instructions are nothing but, here bit manipulation or bit transfer instructions. Example is, here for data transfer, move is an example. For bit transfer or manipulation instructions, the set the bit or clear the bit or set the bit are an examples for bit manipulation instructions. Arithmetical instructions. So arithmetical instructions are used for operating the arithmetical operations. So that means either addition operation, subtraction operation, multiplication operation. So for the arithmetical operations, the arithmetical instructions are to be used. And next, logical instructions. So logical instructions are used for performing the logical operations. So logical operations are nothing but OR operation, AND operation, XOR, so complement and negate. So these are the logical instructions. And program flow control instructions. So program flow control instructions are nothing but, so these are same as branch transfer instructions. So that means here while running on the main program, so if any function is declared in the main program, so the processor will stop execution at there and the execution flow will be moved to that function. So after the sequence of instructions executed in that particular function, again the flow of execution is come back to the main program and it completes its execution. So this is known as program flow control instructions. That is, the program flow will be controlled by the processor and it is transferred from one branch to the another branch, and after completion of that it again come back to the original branch. So these are called as program flow control instructions. So here the examples for this is call and any functions just like add, subtraction. So we can have our own function names. and software interrupt instructions. So interrupt instructions are nothing but if any event occurred or if we want to interrupt the processor, if we want to perform any operations. So those are not required or not to be done in the main program. So we need to give the interrupts. So those are called as software interrupts. Software interrupt instructions examples are restart or reset. So these are the examples for software interrupt instructions. So here these instructions to be operated on either 8-bit data or 16-bit data or 32-bit data. So here we have the another capability of this ARM instruction set is data alignment in memory. So that means we can use in the memory as 2 bytes or 4 bytes. So in the memory alignment, if we have used the thumb instruction set, then we have the 2-byte alignment is there, and if we have used the ARM instruction set, we have the 4-byte alignment. Next, SHARC features. SHARC is nothing but Super Harvard Single Chip Computer. Super Harvard Single Chip Computer. So first, what is meant by Harvard? So here there are two types of architectures are there. One is Harvard, another one is von Neumann or Princeton. So in Harvard architecture, two types of memories are to be used for address and data. So that means for storing the addresses which are used in the instructions, we have a separate memory, and for storing data, we have a separate memory. But in von Neumann or Princeton architecture, the same memory can be used for both address and data. So this SHARC processor is nothing but super hardware single chip computer. So this SHARC processor uses the Harvard architecture. So Harvard architecture means it has two separate memories, address memory and data memory. So for two separate addresses from the processor to the memory, we have the separate buses, separate address bus and separate data bus will be there. So on-chip memory is having the 1 megabyte memory, program memory and 1 megabyte data memory. So two separate 1 megabyte chips are to be there in the SHARC processor. So and it is configured with either 32-bit or 48-bit words. So here external off-chip memory is also available in this processor, and it is having the instruction word of 48 bits. So as we seen in the ARM processor, it is having the 32-bit capability. So ARM processor is having the 32-bit instructions and 32-bit data. But here while going to the SHARC processor, we are having the 48-bit words processing capability and 48-bit instruction words. The 32-bit data word for integer and floating point operations and 40-bit extended floating point. Here the 32-bit words are to be used for integer and floating point operations, and depending on the application used for floating point operations, we can extend that our data capability to 40-bit also. So the smaller 16 and 8-bit also must stored as full 32-bit data. So in ARM processor we have seen that. So we can store either 32-bit data or 16-bit data or 8-bit data as same as 8-bit, 32-bit and 16-bit. But here in SHARC processor, the entire either 18-bit, 8-bit data or 16-bit data can be stored as full 32-bit data. So that means here we can write like this. So if the data is 8-bit only, so that means if the data is either 24H, so then here this 24 will be in the lower bits. So this is the 4-bit, 8-bit and 12-bit, 16-bit, 20, 24, 28, 32. So here this is the data, so which is to be stored for the number 24H. 24H will be stored like this. But in the ARM processor, so the same 24H will be stored like X 24H. So that means, or simply we can simply write 24H also. So we can simply storing our data as 8-bit only in ARM processor. In SHARC processor, it can be stored as a full 32-bit data. So therefore here the big endian and little endian is not considered, because here we are having the full length data bit. So therefore it is not having the big endian and little endian data alignment. So this is the SHARC processor features. So here what are the differences between the ARM processor and SHARC processor? So here the SHARC processor allows the programmer to specify either the data memory or program memory. So in the SHARC processor, we have two types of memories are there. One is for program memory and another one is for data memory. So therefore, the programmer has to specify whether that program uses program memory or data memory. In each instruction, we need to indicate so which memory to be used by that instruction. So here it is not required for the programmer to provide which memory will be used. Here the instruction ends with a semicolon. Here in ARM processor, the instruction, so there is no need of special characters to be used for terminating the instructions. Here the programmer can add documentation by using the exclamatory symbol anywhere in the code, but here can use the semicolon for indicating the comments. Here for ARM processor, we have to indicate the semicolon for comments. For SHARC processor, we have to indicate the exclamatory mark. And here for end of the instruction, we have to use a special character semicolon. Here there is no need of special characters. So the instruction level parallelism is to be possible with the SHARC processor only. Here ARM does not have the instruction level parallelism. We have the pipelining. So pipelining operation is possible with ARM processor and instruction level parallelism is possible with SHARC processor. Here the programming model includes the registers R0 to R5, F0 to F5 and mode 1 and another registers are there. Here we have only register bank R0 to R15 and CPSR register. So here for the SHARC processor with the general purpose registers, we have another 15 registers which are F0 to F15 and etc registers which are the special purpose registers. Here in our ARM processor, we have the register bank which is used for general purpose registers and only one special purpose register which is CPSR. Here DAGs are available in the SHARC processor. These are not available in the ARM processor. So the saturation arithmetic is possible in the SHARC processor. Here the ARM processor will not have the saturation arithmetic capability. And the basic instruction to change the flow of control is jump instruction. Here the jump instruction is to be used in the SHARC processor to utilize the branch flow instructions. But here for ARM instructions, we have used the branch instruction. So here the bitwise testing is not possible in the SHARC. Here the bitwise manipulation is possible in the ARM processor. As we have discussed previously, the full 32-bit data will be indicated for 8-bit data also. So therefore here for SHARC processors, the bit manipulations, the bit manipulation instructions are not possible with the SHARC processor, but here in ARM processor we have the bit manipulation capability. So these are the differences between the ARM processor and SHARC processor. So in this session we have discussed what is the summary of previous session, and in this session what is the advanced microprocessor which is ARM. So in the ARM, what are the ARM features, what are the special registers in the ARM. So here in the general purpose registers, we have the R0 to R15 which is called as register bank, and the CPSR is the special purpose register which is 32-bit register which is used for indicating the status of the instructions executed in the processor. So just like for flags, indicating flags and in indicating the instruction set, that is T mode, either it is thumb instruction set or ARM instruction set, and the flags which are overflow flag, negative flag, zero flag, carry flag and interrupt flag. And another mode is Jagelle processor for advanced processor. So that means for above V6 versions, for ARM V6 versions, and different types of modes which are used for the ARM processor. So those are all will be indicated by the CPSR register. And data operations in ARM, that is, so there are two types of data operations in ARM, which is big endian mode and little endian mode. And different types of ARM modes. Here we have different types of ARM modes are there. Two types of ARM modes are there. One is thumb mode and ARM mode. So in thumb mode, 16-bit data to be considered. In ARM mode, 32-bit data is considered. And next, ARM instruction set. Here ARM instruction set is nothing but it consists of different types of instructions in the ARM processor. There are two types of instruction sets are there. Thumb instruction set and ARM instruction set. The thumb instruction set is the 16-bit instruction set. The ARM instruction set is the 32-bit instruction set. There are different types of instructions are available in the ARM processor. One is data processing instructions and arithmetic instructions, logical instructions, branch or program flow instructions, and bit manipulation instructions. And next one is sharp features. Sharp feature is nothing but it is called as super hardware architecture. Super Harvard architecture. So here it follows the Harvard architecture, which is nothing but having two separate memories. One is for program memory and one is for data memory. And it is not having the possibility for bit manipulation operations. Well, compared with ARM processor, it is having the 48-bit words. In ARM processor, we are having the 32-bit words. So next we have seen the comparison between ARM and Sharp processors. So thank you.